r/askreddit, what's a life-saving tip you think everyone should know? Use condoms. Take care of your oral hygiene. If he or she hits you, leave. No second chances. Ask for help when you need it. If you don't get it, ask someone else. If you ever need someone to call 911, make sure you specifically point someone out of the crowd of people. You in the red shirt, call 911. If you don't, nobody will because they assume someone else will. That's a good one. It's called the bystander effect, right? In the US, by law, every cell tower has to receive and connect 911 calls. It's entirely possible that your cell phone says no signal, because you're not in range of your specific network and you have roaming turned off, but if needed you could call 911 without any issue at all. The same is true in Canada. You don't even need a SIM card to call 911. I would even imagine it's true for most places in the world. Also, some places around the world let you text 911. If you live in an area of extreme temps, keep stuff in your car in case you break down and can't get help immediately. For any temp, water and high-density foods such as protein bars. For cold, a sleeping bag or blanket. For heat, more water and something to make shade. An obvious and simple one, but it saved me on numerous occasions. Trust your instincts and your gut when it says don't do it. Something doesn't feel right. We sometimes forget to trust our own selves. The gift of fear, excellent read. I have anxiety. If I trusted my gut feelings, I'd never get up in the morning. I read somewhere that the gut feeling is basically our brain recognizing unusual patterns without us realizing it. In fact, it is a really good idea to trust a gut feeling. Do not throw water on a grease fire. Please. If your vomit ever looks like coffee grounds, you are bleeding internally and need to go to the ER immediately. Also, if your poop is black, thin, and sticky. Sorry to be gross. But if your poop is black, go immediately to get help. If you smell fish in your house, it could be the start of an electrical fire. Or you need to clean your fleshlight. Or a rotting sack of potatoes. Choking is silent. All a choking person can do to signal distress is sign for it. I've only choked for real once and it was terrifying, largely because the people around me didn't realize what was happening and didn't help. Though they were idiots, I was trying to do the international sign for choking, link, and after I dislodged it by using the self-Heimlich, one said, "Oh, I thought you were choking yourself, I thought it was weird." The Heimlich maneuver. And you can do it with a chair on yourself, if need be. If you're driving somewhere and it's cold out, bring a coat. Even if your car is warm, something could happen that would prevent the heat from working, and you'll become a popsicle real quick. Or gasoline fire. When traveling, always keep enough cash to buy a ticket back home and hide it somewhere safe, like inside your shoes or a secret pocket. That way you can return home even if you're robbed. Suppose it depends on where you are from, but I would suspect most nationalities that post on Reddit can fix this by going to the consulate/embassy. Also, if your passport is stolen, you don't have to hide that in your arse. 1. Mind your own business. 2. Leave that man's wife alone. Number 2 seems to have a story in your case. Don't swim in rivers. The current can be deceptively strong, and there can be swirling eddies and whirlpools that can fuck up even the best swimmer. Ditto lakes, honestly. And oceans are self-evidently dangerous. Maybe just stick to pools, people. And even then, be careful. Don't go chasing waterfalls either. Produce food is incredibly cheap and needs very little skill to properly utilize. There's a HelloFresh as that runs on Peacock where the lady says, "Sometimes I don't have time to cut vegetables and it sends my husband into fits." According to him, if you can't find the time to chop veggies you should just, not. Don't panic. It only takes a second or two to gather your wits and make decisions. Panic gets you killed. Seriously, just use baking powder. And always keep your towel with you. How to spot the signs of a stroke in yourself or someone else. You need to think and act. F.A.S.T. Face: can the person smile? Has their mouth or eye drooped? Arms: can the person raise both arms? Speech: can the person speak clearly and understand what you say? Time to call the emergency services to get the person the medical attention they need. I found this one out 2 months ago. My husband was admitted to the hospital with a suspected stroke. If you have any of these symptoms, get to the ER ASAP. 1. Loss of vision. 2. Loss of movement on one or both sides of your body. 3. Trouble speaking or understanding what someone is saying. 4. Headache. I let my husband talk me out of taking him immediately to the ER when he started having blurry vision. By the time we got to the ER by ambulance he couldn't see or walk. He could have died. It would be unwise to pick a fight with a person who has cauliflower ears. Always keep some extra bottles of water in a car door pockets for emergencies. CPR without mouth-to-mouth is still effective. If you're uncomfortable giving rescue breaths you can still help someone in need. Link. Bonus tip. You can get free Narcan/naloxone in certain states/cities, or other heavily subsidize it. Carry some of this in your car/purse to easily save a life. Yes, and Overdose now sends free Narcan as long as you pay for shipping. Don't forget your sunscreen lotion. Save your money. Carry a tourniquet, and obviously know how to apply one. Everyone should learn basic first aid and CPR skills. These skills can make all the difference in an emergency situation, and can potentially save someone's life. And a packet of sugar. So many diabetics these days. If you feel something is wrong inside of you, call your doctor/hospital immediately. Don't self-diagnose and let it fester for days or months. Never combine cleaning products. For example, combining bleach and ammonia creates chloramine gas which can kill you if inhaled. If your lips or tongue start to swell, call for help immediately. Seconding this, an AP pen will save your life. For about 20 minutes. If you're not in an ambulance then, you're probably going to die. They need to dump some weapons-grade Benadryl in your ass because AP kicks in fast, but it doesn't last long. Benadryl is the opposite. Make sure your dogs/cats are up to date on shots. Learn this the hard way, uneasy face. To piggyback on this, don't have a doggy door if you have little dogs and live by coyotes or other prey. Learn this the hard way too. If someone is too hot, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, do not give them cold water and do not suddenly move them to a cold area. Give them room temp water and try to cool them gradually. You will send some into shock by suddenly introducing them to the cold. This works the other way too. If someone is too cold, warm them up gradually. Drowning is often silent. TV and movies have done a great disservice by showing drowning victims as screaming and flailing. That is not the case 90% of the time. In Denmark it's part of taking your driver's license. In France you are required to take a first aid class, where they teach you the basics. CPR should be done hard enough that you break ribs and done to the same tempo as staying alive. It's also important to note that CPR will very rarely bring someone back to life like in movies. The purpose of it is to keep the blood and oxygen flowing enough that when professionals arrive they will be able to revive the person with minimal brain damage.